Hi, it's Dominic. If you are into AI images, AI influencers, and the latest in the AI world, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Guys, I'm very excited about this video because today I will present you the new and powerful restyle function of Runway AI. This completely new AI feature gives us the opportunity to keep the movement of any video, for example, body movement, but we completely change the style of the video. And if you already have some experience, especially with AI videos, you know why I am so excited about this new feature. So far, we could get the best results with image to video. That means we took an image and then we animated it to a video, which works good. But the problem is oftentimes after the first second of the video goes into an entire random direction and we have no control about it. But with this new function from Runway AI, we can control the movement of the entire video. And this is especially powerful when it comes to AI influencers, where we want to get the impression of a real person acting in front of the camera. Of course, we can also do a lot of arty style. There, the only limit is your imagination, as you will see in a second. In this video, it's very important that you pay close attention to the little details and settings I show you to make sure you actually get a good result. With that being said, let's jump over to my screen and have a look at the theory, and afterwards I show you my great results. Good, let's begin. As you can see, I prepared a little presentation. This makes it easier to make sure that anybody of you understands what I actually talk about and where to pay attention. So the Runway Restyle First Frame function gives us the opportunity to restyle a video, as you see it here on the left side, so that the final video moves exactly like the input video, but it looks completely different. For example, if I raise my right hand, the model should also raise her right hand. And to do that, we have to work with the first frame of the video. And the first frame of the video is this first image that is visible when you start the video. So literally the absolute first image of the video. And here you see some examples. Most of the time before you press play on a video, you see the first frame. And now we work with exactly that image. And in a second, you will see how you can get the first frame of any video super easily. And then when you have that first frame, you can restyle this image however you want. In that example, I turned myself into that example AI influencer you see here on the right side, and I think it turned out quite well. We see the background is still exactly the same, but now I am converted into that girl. But keep in mind, at that point, we just talk about images. And later, Runway AI gives us the opportunity to work with that changed and restyled first frame to make the entire video look like that first image. Sounds difficult, but you will see in a second, it's actually quite easy. I personally love these realistic looking AI influencers and realistic looking AI images and videos, but of course, we can also do more artsy stuff, as you see it here on the right side. And later you will also see an example video how this looks like. Good, that's it regarding the theory. Now I show you how it's done. Good, we start all that in the video editing software CapCut. I think most of you know that software. It's free, it's very powerful, and I love to work with it. Up here in the media section, I already imported an example video that I want to use in that example, and also some restyled frames that we will use in a second. So the first thing you do is you pull that video down to the timeline, and in that example, it's a almost 5-second long video. Let's have a look. You see a very basic video. I'm basically just facing the camera and moving around a little bit. And this is very important up front. I recommend to go with very static videos, not too much head and eye movement, but more on that later. So you see a very simple video. And now one important thing. You click here on ratio onto custom, and the first thing you want to do is to change the aspect ratio so that it is already correct for Runway AI. This will make sure that our input video is already perfectly prepared for Runway, and this will assure that you get the perfect result. And you want to go here with 768 times 1280. My video is already in exactly that aspect ratio, but make sure to check that because otherwise you can get problems later when using that video in Runway. Good. We click here save, and then we go to the very beginning of the video. And what you see here is the so-called first frame. And now we have to export exactly that first frame. And we do that by clicking up here and then export still frames. Then we can give the thing a name. I just call it X1, and we click here on export. And then we get exactly that first frame saved as an image, and we can change that image however we want. I already did that step, and I will show you later in the video how I actually did it and which tools I used for it. But now I show you what you do with this restyled first frame and how you prepare it so that we can go over to Runway and create our restyled video. So I already uploaded my restyled first frames here, and in that example I want to go with that one. So this is an image, but as you can see, I already restyled it. I turned myself into that girl. And now we placed that image on top of the video. And to make sure that this image perfectly fits to the video, we have to click here on blend and then lower the opacity a little bit so that we can check if the eyes are at the correct position and also if the shoulders and the silhouette of that new image fits to our original first frame. This is very important. You really want this to match as good as possible because the better your original first frame and your restyled first frame match together, the better the final result in the end. So if you don't have a nice match here and the eyes, for example, are not perfectly matching, just make sure to move the image around here until you find the perfect position. Then when you have the perfect position, you just click up here again on export still frames, and then you export that first frame again. And with that step, we made sure that our original video and our restyled first frame match perfectly together. And now we go over to Runway AI and create our restyled video. Good. Now I'm at the starting screen of Runway AI, and this is the platform and the tool we are going to use to restyle our video. Keep in mind that you get some free credits for Runway, but if you want to use the restyle function, you need a subscription. I got myself the smallest subscription possible for $15 per month just to check this out. And when you do that, you get around 700 credits, which is enough to test the tool out and to make some first experiences. Good, that's it regarding the requirements. And when you have the subscription and you have your restyled first frame, you have your input video, we can click here onto sessions. And there you see what I already did. But now we click on new session as I want to show you how it's done. And the first step obviously is to upload our input video. So we click here and then you select your input video. And afterwards it gets uploaded. Here it is, and then comes the magic. We can click down here on styled first frame. And when we do that, we have the opportunity to upload a restyled first frame, exactly what we already did. And when we click here on upload, you see we can select the restyled first frame, we upload it, and now we are almost ready. As you can see down here, we have more settings. For example, up here, we have a prompt box where you can enter a prompt or you don't enter a prompt. I tested it out with prompt, without prompt, and I can tell you the difference is actually not even noticeable. I think it helps if you have a little description to help the AI better understand what you want to do, but I don't think it's actually mandatory. So for that example, I will just leave it away. Then down here, we have even more settings when we click on it, and we have a parameter that is called structure transformation, and the default is 3. At that point, I don't want to explain what this parameter does. I will show you later when presenting my results, because then you better understand the impact of exactly that parameter. But I already wanted to show you where you also find these settings. Good, that's it regarding the settings, and when we hit generate, our video gets produced. Good, now that we spoke a lot about theory and you saw how to prepare the input video and the restyled first frame and to make sure that they match together, how to upload this to Runway AI, how to select the settings and so on, you know basically everything you need to do to make this happen. I can promise you I tested a lot with different styles, with different settings, and in this little presentation I try to bring everything together so that you don't have to make the errors I did and you don't have to burn as much credit as I did. Some of the videos are very short. I did this because it's just cheaper if I just generate 4 seconds of video instead of 10, what I did in the beginning. And this was very costly after a while. But I think after seeing all my results, you fully understand what is important, what does work, what don't work, and you're perfectly prepared to generate your own restyled videos using the restyled first frame function of Runway. Good, let's have a look at the first three. So in the first video, I went with this comic style, and as you can see, it worked absolutely perfect. And this is the first tip I want to give you at that point. When you go with something artsy or a comic style, this tool works best. The more realistic your result, the more difficult for the AI to create the perfect illusion. But as you can see, comic works perfect. After that, I also went with another style that is kind of the Joker of Batman. And yeah, also this worked quite fine. But if you have a closer look at the hand here, you see the AI messed up a little bit and it didn't turn out too well. But overall, I think it's still a nice video. And after that, I tried to push it to the top regarding the comic style. And also here, you see overall, the entire video is changed into that comic style. And it also worked quite well. But in this example, also the hand is messed up a little bit. And this is the first lesson at that point, that you should avoid objects in the hand because this is very difficult for the AI to reproduce. I show you the videos once again without interruption so that you can check out the full result. Good. Then we come to the next example. Now I tried to turn myself into this example AI influencer you see on the right side. And regarding the first frame, it worked perfectly fine. You see, it's actually a perfect transformation. I went also with the structure transformation parameter of 3, which is the default. I entered the prompt a girl speaking into a microphone because I thought maybe it helps if I tell the AI now that I'm now a girl and no longer a man. But as you will see in a second, the result is actually not too good. So let's check it out. Hi, it's Dominic. If you are into AI images, AI influencers, and the latest in the AI world, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. You see, we had a huge problem here, and this was the hair. So the first lesson I learned here was that you have to keep the overall silhouette of the original video more or less. Otherwise, it won't work. And this is why I did it again, as you can see, with a different restyled first frame. Now I tried to make the haircut a little bit more similar to mine. And the idea was that now it works better. But as you will see in a second, unfortunately, it also didn't work. Hi, it's Dominic. If you are into AI images, AI influencers, and the latest in the AI world, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Good. So that brought me to the conclusion that the problem here is the overall strong movement of my head and eyes. This changes also the look of the girl and makes the entire video just super weird. So make sure that when you want to transform yourself or another real person into another person, that this only works with very static videos and not a lot of head movement. If you do something like that, it won't work. But if you just move a little bit, almost in slow motion, as you will see in the other examples, it actually works quite well. Because of all the errors I did in the beginning and lots of credits that I burned, I decided to try it with a completely new input video and a completely new restyled first frame. And now I'm going to show you these results and the learnings I had with those. So here in the first example, I also went with the structure transformation parameter of 3 and no prompt, but I made sure that I don't move my head a lot. And as you will see in a second, it actually worked quite well. I'm raising the hand and also the girl is raising the hand. What I don't like in that video is that the girl is making some weird movements with her face that I didn't do. But what I really like is that I was able to also change the entire body of the girl, and the video still turned out quite well. And I think this is due to the fact that there is not a lot of movement in the video. So things like that work really good. Now in the next example, it gets even better because I wanted to try to bring in a little bit more motion to make this look more realistic and actually practical. And this is why I filmed myself with the selfie camera walking along the street. Then I also changed the body and the face, as you can see it here. And the final result actually turned out quite well, as you will see now. So also this worked quite well. We see the background is almost the same. Of course, it's a little bit different and has like an AI style, but most people probably wouldn't even notice that. Overall, it worked quite well because also here I made sure that I'm always facing the camera with my eyes and also avoided moving my head a lot. And also when I restyled the first frame, as you can see, I kept parts of the shirt so that the overall silhouette of myself and the girl are actually the same. Good, but as you will see now, it gets even better because my goal was actually to create a perfect video of that AI influencer that is controlled by my movements. So I went with another input video and another restyled first frame, and I think this result is even better. We see we have a little bit strange movement in her face, and also here at her breasts is a little imperfection, but beside to that it's also a perfect video and the background is also almost the same. But this is not everything, it gets even better. Because I thought for the perfect illusion, I actually also need to change the silhouette of the girl because my neck looks a little bit too male for that girl. And because of that, I also wanted to change that area as you see it here. And I removed the shirt and everything. So now we have an entirely different person and I tried to animate that. But as you can see, it didn't work out too well. We have now this little part which was my shoulder and neck before, that is now somehow not animated and not blending in to the video. And this brought me to the idea to play with the structure transformation parameter that you see up here, which was until now the default, but now I tried to work with that parameter. As you can see in the next example, I increased that parameter to 7, which is quite a lot. Everything else was the same. And when we have a look at the video now, you see, now the girl is perfectly blended in, but the girl isn't moving anymore. So it's actually a usable video, but it's of course not what we wanted to achieve because in the end, the goal of this method is to preserve the entire movement of the original video and transform it to the restyle video. Because otherwise we could also just use an input image, go to Kling AI and animate that input image. But I didn't give up and I tried it one more time. Now with a structure transformation parameter of 6, the same prompt and I changed the silhouette of the girl again. Because now that I added this little blanket and the scarf, her silhouette is better matching my original silhouette. And when we look at that video now, you will see this is the best result and it turned out quite well. Good. Now that we learned how to do it, we saw the results. I want to sum up once again what is important, where you have to pay attention. First of all, important is that when you start with all that, that the restyled first frame and your original video are perfectly matching together. And you do that with playing with the opacity in CapCut and placing the restyled first frame on top of the original video. So just make sure that the eyes are perfectly matching. Then also very important, the silhouette. It has to match to the original. So make sure that when you restyle your first frame, that the outer silhouette of the restyled first frame is perfectly matching your original first frame. And sometimes, especially if you go from male to female, you have to play with some little accessoires to make the silhouette actually match your original. Or even better, you just work with a female input video, then this is not so important. And here's some last facts that are very important. Avoid head movement, avoid fast movement in general, avoid holding objects such as a microphone. And now to the structured transformation parameter. If this parameter is high, which is something between a value from 5 to 10, the video will turn out quite different as the original, but the silhouette of the restyled first frame is not so important. So if you just want a different style and look, but the movements are not so important, go with the higher structure transformation parameter. And if you go with a lower structure transformation parameter, something between 1 and 5, the movements of your restyled video will be exactly the same as in the original video. So if the movement is important, go with lower values. Good. And now the final question, how did I restyle the first frame? I used focus, better the in painting in focus for these AI influencers, and for the artsy stuff, I used Flux Canny Pro via Replicate. Focus is completely for free and the in painting works simple and easy. I already showed it in other videos. Make sure to check them out as well. And the Flux Canny Pro via Replicate is also very easy to operate. It's basically a tool that allows you to capture the structure of an image, to keep it, and then to recreate a very similar image. This is exactly what we need in that particular example. And you also don't need a subscription at Replicate. At Replicate, you just pay for every single image you create. And with that model, I think you pay 5 cents per image. So this is not too much. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got a lot of value out of it. If so, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you already tested out this powerful restyle function of Runway AI. And at that point, I also want to apologize if that video was a little bit chaotic and maybe not so easy to follow as the other videos of mine. For that video, I tested out so many things. I had so many results and it was a little bit overwhelming to put everything together into one nice video. I hope you still enjoyed the video and you got a lot of value out of it. And if you have any question, just let me know in the comments and I'm more than happy to answer. I hope we see each other in the next video. Take care and goodbye.